The law actually now, if an employer has 25 people or more, 25 or more employees, they have to use the e-verify system. After 3 days that the person has been employed, an employer must use the e-verify system. That system to verify whether the person is legal or not. And of course, that system is connected with ICE, immigration. So a lot of people are in fear of deportation. So this bill is creating a lot of fear in our immigrant community, and it will impact every immigrant who are not legal in the country. But one thing we want people also to know, like let's just say you want to go to the hospital, you're sick or your child is sick. There's a part in the law, there's a section in the law that says you must they must ask you, they can ask you a question as to whether you're illegal or not. And I want people to know that question is optional. It's optional, which means you don't have to answer the questions. And a lot of people are in fear they will not be seeking care. And I don't want anybody to be sick and say, I cannot go to the hospital, or my child is sick just because I'm not legal, that I cannot go to the hospital. We're encouraging people to still go to the hospital. And that question is, again, it's an optional question, which means you can answer it if you want to, but you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
My question is this law only based in Florida? And where is the responsibility of hospitals or health providers? Because they're supposed to provide services to people who don't have insurance. It doesn't really matter if they're legal or not, if someone is going there and has health conditions. So the first question is it only Florida-based law? And the second one is the responsibility of the health providers.
The law was passed in the state of Florida. Yes, we know that this law applies in the state of Florida, and we are living in the state of Florida. The healthcare providers, yes, they have the responsibility to provide care to anyone. You cannot let someone actually die if they need care. They receive funding from the state as well. A lot of the hospital receive funding from the state, but that question would keep them from providing care to the people. That's one thing I want people to know. Just because the question is in there doesn't mean that the healthcare providers, they have a responsibility to provide care for everyone. But we know that this question is causing a lot of scare from our immigrant brothers and sisters who are in fear of deportation. I'm going to reiterate again that you do not have to answer this question when it's being asked, because this question was put in the bill in order to generate a report. That's what we were saying, to generate a report that would be sent to the governor's office. And that report is for them to see how much immigrants are costing the state of Florida. That's what we were told. But a lot of people seem to think otherwise. So I'm telling you what's in the bill. The hospital, they will ask the questions, but you do not have to answer the question because it's an optional question.
What about immigrants or people who are in the US and are awaiting a status change, or they're working on their process of getting legal? What about them?
If they are working on the process of being of being legal, and they have papers, they have appointment, what I would ask them to do, make a copy of those papers. So wherever you go, make sure that you have a copy of the papers on you, in case if you being stopped or something happened, then you could always pull those from your wallet and show it to them. Don't take the original with you. I wouldn't tell you to take the original, just in case something happened. You might lose your wallet, or someone might still, might take it from you. Make sure you make a copies of those papers. If you know you have the paper, you're in the process. Some people have appointment, pending appointment with immigration. Keep those documents with you just in case.
Finally, about the driver's license law that if you're coming from a different state, now we're talking about American citizens or immigrants. So even if you're coming from a different state, could you
If
tell
you,
us about it?
yes, if you're an American citizen, that doesn't apply to you. If you have a license, you could always go and update your license at a regular station. The license issue is applying if you are illegal. You used to go and renew your license. That's no longer the case. Like the organization that used to receive money to provide ID that people used to go to the driver's license places and get. So those organizations would no longer receive the money to do so, because right now that cannot happen. If you are illegal, then you would have an issue getting those documents. That's what it is.